When I was 16, during my junior year of high school, our school day was divided into 9 periods. Lunch fell during the 5th period, and my astronomy class was scheduled right after lunch. Interestingly, my astronomy class took place in one of the 2 basement classrooms of our large high school, which spanned 3 floors. The school, needing more space for classes, had converted part of the basement, which was previously used for janitorial purposes, into classrooms. It was an eerie place, especially when empty. The basement was devoid of intercoms or loudspeakers at that time, which meant no classes were held there during the first period when morning announcements were made. This part of the basement was referred to as the chamber, and it was a popular place since it was air-conditioned. The classes were usually less challenging, and it had a private bathroom. One day we were taking a quiz in astronomy, which I found pretty easy. After finishing my quiz, I texted my friend who was in the other basement classroom, asking him to meet me in the bathroom as I was bored. He agreed. As we were joking around in the bathroom, he received a text informing him that the school was going into lockdown. We were excited by this unexpected event, since our teachers hadn't noticed us leaving the classrooms. We decided to sneak upstairs and explore the hallways. To our surprise, the lights were switched off, which was unusual during lockdowns. Hesitant but curious, we ventured into the dark hallways. Suddenly, we noticed a man emerging from the shadows. Upon closer inspection, we realized he didn't resemble any of our school staff. He was dressed shabbily. We quickly retreated back to the basement, where we noticed that both classrooms were dark and quiet. To avoid causing any commotion, we decided to hide in the bathroom, turning off the light and hiding in a corner stall. Suddenly, the bathroom door opened. We could hear someone entering and breathing heavily. In the silence of the room, my friend whispered to me that we should try to escape by crawling through the other stalls. Unfortunately, his whisper was loud enough to alert the intruder. As the person started banging on the stall door, we quickly crawled under the sidewall to the next stall, and then the next, until we reached the other side of the bathroom. As we burst out of the bathroom, we saw the man from the hallway in the corner. We ran to my friend's classroom and managed to get inside just as the teacher was locking the door. Upon explaining what had happened, we noticed the concerned expressions on our classmates' faces. The sound of banging on the door sent a wave of fear through the room. We could see the man trying to open the door through the window in the door. After a few unsuccessful attempts, he left and walked back towards the stairs. The lockdown continued for over an hour. The teacher periodically questioned us about the incident, each time shaking his head in disbelief. Eventually, we were instructed to leave the building single file, where we were met by the police. We provided them with our descriptions of the man and were then sent home. Following this incident, the school invested in more security measures, such as installing cameras throughout the premises. Despite the lack of media attention and not knowing whether the man was ever caught by the police, I believe his intentions were deadly. I'm convinced that if we hadn't escaped from the bathroom stall, he would have tried to kill us right there. As a retired police officer from New Jersey, I recall responding to a disturbing call about a school lockdown during my 20-year career. On a stormy, dark day, I was called to a nearby middle school, whose name I won't mention for legal reasons, after a suspicious man was seen exiting a white van and entering the school through a back door near the boys' locker room. Upon my arrival, I found the white van empty and locked. I entered the school through a red back door, which led to a hallway by the locker rooms. With the main lights turned off, I used my flashlight to navigate the dark interior. A woman from the front office whispered to me that the suspicious person might be armed and could be hiding in the boys' locker room. After calling for backup, I made my way to the locker room. In the dimly lit room, I heard faint scratching noises and subtle thuds against the locker doors. The tension was high, and I was terrified. As I moved about the room, the noises seemed to follow me. The sound of a locker door slamming nearly made me jump out of my skin. I discovered that the noise was coming from the football team's locker room, which was part of the main locker room, but separated by a row of larger lockers. Deciding it was time to announce my presence, I shouted, "Police!" Suddenly, a muffled scream for help came from a boy trapped inside one of the lockers. I called for backup again and ran outside to check the white van, only to find it gone. I alerted the dispatch about the suspicious white van and instructed the school staff to end the school day and fetch someone with a key to free the boy from the locker. It appeared that the man had tried to kidnap the boy, threatening him with a knife. The man was arrested a week later when his van was spotted in a 7-Eleven parking lot. During my visit to Rowan University in New Jersey, which I was considering attending, I stayed alone at the Hampton Inn as my family couldn't accompany me. After the campus tour, I had dinner at a nearby restaurant and returned to my hotel around 8 p.m. Looking forward to returning to the campus the following day, I had barely spent an hour in my hotel room when a bizarre alarm began ringing and a white light started flashing from the corner of the ceiling. Shortly thereafter, a repetitive message began, stating something similar to, "All Hampton guests, please stay in your rooms. We are in a lockdown." I had never experienced a lockdown in a hotel before, nor did I know hotels had such alarms. I found the situation more fascinating and thrilling than alarming. Eventually, the alarm went silent, but the light continued to flash. The message kept on repeating every 20 seconds or so. It was only around 9:30, so I decided to turn on the TV for some background noise while I changed my clothes and brushed my teeth. After turning off the lights and snuggling under the covers, I watched TV for about 30 minutes before switching it off. The light was still flashing incessantly, emitting a disruptive bright white light every few seconds, which I knew would interfere with my sleep. I was thinking about calling the front desk to inquire about the situation when my phone rang. It was someone from the front desk. I thought they would inform me about the alarm and when it would cease, but instead the person on the other end spoke in a very worried tone. She advised me to stay calm and exit the room immediately. I seized this opportunity to ask her what exactly was happening. She informed me that there was someone else in the room with me and I needed to leave immediately. I dropped the phone and instinctively started searching the room, part of me eager to see if someone was indeed in the room. I checked under the bed, looked into the vacant bathroom, but found no one in either places. Then I spotted the closet door right next to the bathroom. It was a closet with a wooden sliding door, slightly ajar. Through the small opening I saw a person's face. At first, the gravity of what I was seeing didn't hit me, but when the door slid closed, panic set in and I bolted out of the room. The front desk staff showed me security footage from an hour earlier of a suspicious-looking man wandering around the hallways, seemingly in search of a particular room. When he reached my door, he opened it with a card he somehow managed to get, and that was it. I waited as the police led the intruder away in handcuffs. He was a man, on the shorter side, probably in his 40s. As he passed by, he looked at me, as if he recognized me. It's chilling to think that he might have been observing me for over an hour from that closet. Music